of today?
We are live on Facebook. Welcome to Beyond the Frame. My name is Jay Nephew, and I'll be your host this afternoon. We're chatting with Nancy Schenk from B&B Bowling Lanes in North Carolina. Woo -woo.
Hi, Jay. How are you doing?
How are you? I'm doing well, Nancy. You know, we've been talking with Beyond the Frame and our webinars. We've been talking about what to do during this pandemic and the crisis, and how are you making best use of your time with remodeling, cleaning, reimagining your business, the whole 9 yards, right? And I was so excited when you said you would do the show with me, because I've been following you on social media and I've seen some of the projects at your bowling center. So I know what you've been doing, but why don't you tell us and our audience, tell us some of the things that you've been keeping busy with, because it's not a short list, that's for sure.
It's not. Excuse my finger. I'm unplugging my phone here. We'll go on a tour.
We're going live, people. This is legit live. We're going out on tour.
I'm going to turn y'all around because y'all don't need to see me, and we'll take you. Jay, it's unfortunate what we're all going through 100%, but it has been good for us to use this time to do things that we probably have been putting off for 30 years.
Right.
It's hard. Every bowling center, it's hard to do those really deep down projects because we're open every 7 days a week. So we'll start off here. This is our grill area. And you can see we're actually missing a grill because it's in the back, getting its little makeover. But we have taken this time, as you can see, to really clean every single surface inside and out, to get our counters clean, just not because of the epidemic we're going through, just because it needed it.
Right. And you don't get to shut down and do that very often. I mean, in the middle of the season, you're busy, right? You got 24 lanes. It's not like you can afford to just close the doors and say, well, we're going to clean this week. You can't do that.
Yeah, and we have no off season anymore. No. We're really busy even through the summer. Being in the southern climates, they're looking for air conditioning. I know a lot of our friends up north everybody goes out to the lakes or gets outside, but for us, summer has become a really busy time.
That's true.
So, we don't get to do more than the everyday cleaning very often just because we're open 365 days a year. So the first 2 or 3 weeks, it was great being closed, doing those projects that, we'd put off for a while. Back in the old day, we always closed for, 3 days a year or every other year to resurface. But, we just don't do that anymore with synthetics. So
true.
So we don't get to. But this is our snack bar area. We, like I said, repainted the sign back there. Our big project has been our desk.
Look at this desk, ladies and gentlemen. If you go to B&B Bowling Lanes Facebook page, I'm sure she has some before pictures of in the middle of this. And I got to tell you, it's stunning. And she's not even, I'll let her tell you because she already told me a couple things. So go ahead.
Yes, and I'll show everybody else. That's Clayton and Antonio, 2 of my great employees. My team's been awesome through this. So this was still the last bit of carpet we had in the bowling center. We had done the sidewalls, we taken off and I know it's still dark there because we're working on some lighting issues, but we had done the sidewalls and taken off the carpet about 2 or 3 years ago. So, but this area still had a little bit of carpet and still had some mirrors and glass, still 1980s all over it.
Love it.
So we took all of that down. We sheetrocked it all. I got these awesome chandeliers that I'm absolutely in love with.
I'm in love with them. I'm telling you right now, that is one of the nicest bowling counters I've seen in a long, long time. It's gorgeous.
Yeah, so we have 2 of them, and I'll take you back into the office and show you the plans. We've really tried to capitalize on minimalist. The back desk had a bunch of different things back there, some accessories, some of our lottery stuff, and we've tried to really keep it clean because this is how you come into the center. Our accessories. Right. Used to be sort of on a platform right here on the desk, and we moved them over to the corner where they're still accessible, but not first thing you see when you walk in. So we just tried to be really conscious of that. We had to get 3 new computers. I'm walking around here. We had to get 3 new computers while this all went down too, because we still had Windows 7. So when we put in our new Cubica computers, get Windows 10, we were able to redo all of this down here, and you can see it's nice and clean.
You freed up a lot of space there.
Yeah. So we were able to redo that. We painted this all teal. It was still our 1980s red. We've taken every pair of shoe, Jay. This is important. We have wiped everything down. You can see how they're completely almost brand spanking new again.
Nice.
It was almost a week it took us to go through every rental shoe to really, really clean. And this is going to be all covered up, and I'll take you. We're not going to leave our panel box showing, but
no, you've got plans for that spot.
We
now, Nancy,
do. So
tell me how you got involved in the bowling industry.
Well, I was born into it. So
there we go.
My dad built the center in 1959, and I grew up here. Was a pretty decent bowler. Went to college. Was never coming home, just like we all say.
Right.
Went to work for PricewaterhouseCoopers. Got to travel the world for a while, and then I had a baby. And as Gary, who I met bowling, my husband, we met bowling. Was trying to figure out what we wanted to do, and getting on an airplane every week wasn't able to happen.
Right.
So I'll turn you back around while I'm telling the story, then I'll turn you back the other way so you don't look at my messy desk.
Sign of a busy person right there.
Yeah, we haven't stopped. So I traveled and worked for PricewaterhouseCoopers, and it was wonderful. Then we got pregnant. And one of the things that you don't realize as a child is my dad, my mom were able to come to every single one of my games, never missed an event. And I wanted to be able to do the same thing for my child or children.
Oh, nice.
So with us having met in college, being on the bowling team together, it just was a natural. He's from North Carolina, so we got closer back to his family. So I came back, and Avery is 17, and we had just had her in February and moved down in June. So this year will be 17 years we've been back and running the business.
Wow, that's amazing. So tell me about the plans you have for that back wall, because this is going to tie together now.
Yes, it will. So this is a drawing, and hopefully it's coming through pretty well. You can see this is where the shoes were, and sort of the door that was right there. Let me move this for a second. And then we're going to put some black and white photos along the wall. So there'll be two here, and up here, down here, there's going to be some family. I think it's really important, Jay, when we come back from this, those of us that are blessed, and I know not everybody in the industry, but this is a family business for me. It was built in 1959. And this picture right here is going to be one of the pictures on the wall. We're having our local print shop blow it up for us. This is the youngest one in the little front. That's my dad. And the one above him is his first cousin, David Bloom. And that's what the B&B stand for, Baum and Bloom.
That is unbelievably gorgeous. It is giving me goosebumps that your dad, at the age of 9, 6, whatever, how old he is there, and his best friend came together and built this business all those years ago. What a story.
It is, and not much has changed here. Of course, we try to modernize it and keep it updated. That's something that I've really tried hard to do.
And it shows.
Being limited in space. I'm 24 traditional as they come. I have 0 extra space. Back in 1959, nobody built a bowling center with extra space.
No.
None. So we try to just keep it fresh and try to change something every 2 or 3 years to give us a new look. So this one I'm really, really excited about. This was the one thing I had sort of neglected. So this picture is going to be there. There's a great picture of our bowling center from the outside with some beautiful 1960s cars in the parking lot. That's going to be one of the photos.
Very fun.
One of the photos is this picture of my sister and I here when we were young. So it'll help sort of tell the story, that we're a family-owned small business. And that, hopefully people will come back and support us, and I think they will. I think that while there's a lot of fear and a lot of threats out there, I think the majority of people will be cautious of what they're doing, but be ready to come back for some entertainment.
Right. And you bring up a good point, Nancy. There are many other bowling centers that are in a similar situation as you, family owned. It's been in the business, in the family for many years. Or I've been in the industry and I finally get this center and it has this history. And I don't often see people tell the story like you're telling it. There is a center that I worked with in Wisconsin that they tell the story beautifully, and they use their masking units to show years of progression and stuff, and it looked really nice. But your story is compelling, and what that does for your business it drives engagement, I would say, because people remember your father. The older people, like, I remember your dad. Their kids come to your bowling center. Their kids' kids are going to come to your bowling center. So kudos to you for taking that on and making it a part of your business. I think it's a brilliant move. It's gorgeous, and I think it's going to look amazing when it's done.
Thank you. We're excited. We've had, like I said, nothing's quite done. Everything here has taken 3 times longer than we thought.
That's true.
One is we're not killing ourselves every day knowing we had some time. And then two, like I said, when you see Clayton behind the desk, what should be as simple as putting on a light cover switch, or of course wasn't as simple as putting on a light cover switch. And here we are having to move things around. So no junction boxes put back in 1959. So it's been lots of fun. But
Sure.
so
Sure.
I'll keep showing you some of the other things we want, or you got a
Yep.
question for me?
Well, I'll save this one for the next break when you're going to walk. Turn the camera around and I'll ask you another question. But yeah,
Okay.
I want to see this pro shop.
Yeah, so this is the pro shop, and it is a little bit torn up right now. All the stuff's down the thing. We've decided to paint the bottom half black, not quite the bottom half, but just if you've been in like pro shops, they just get beat up. Even though
for
the flat
sure.
wall, just with boxes and everything. So we decided to try to cover some of the dirt. And then, so we painted in here, repainting the white, painted the black. And then we're going to paint that little bit of red that's left up there. We're going to paint it teal to sort of blend in with the colors.
Tie in with your logo, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So this is the project. We just started on this one this week. So
okay.
They're painting right now and getting all done. So it looks good.
Okay, now Nancy's going to take us down back and show us some stuff. Well, I'll start asking you the question now. So Nancy, you are past president of BPAA.
Yes, sir.
How has that experience helped your business?
Oh, tremendously. And it's not even just being the president, but just being involved,
right.
Being on the board, going to every Bowl Expo and to Summit. They really just pay for themselves because I now have access to information that other proprietors don't, or I'm the first to know information or to get my hands on things. And that was able to help me come home and be able to implement things right away.
And you can take away what you want from that and do your version of it when you get to your center. So it's pretty interesting that you say that, you had access to information that other people might not have. I often, it's funny because we started our journey. My first year on the board of directors for USBC, I believe was your first year as a director for the BPAA. And that's how I met you, but way back when. So it's so delightful to see you come this way and then get to the pinnacle of your industry and take that knowledge and run with it and help other people. So I think the best takeaway from that is you just don't know what you don't know. So why not go and find out?
Exactly. And there's just so much information out there. And the problem is you have to hear it so many times.
That's true.
Every time Amy or Curry speaks, I go to her seminars, and by now you'd think I would know it. And every time I learn something else from her, and it's just not her. But, our brains we pick up on one or two things, and we get focused on those.
Right.
So you do those one or two things, you accomplish them, and then you go back and you hear something else. So that's a personal thing. A lot of people say as president, your business suffers, and mine really didn't. Sorry, I'm just readjusting here, but
fine.
Oh, now I just took you off completely. There we go.
Oh, you're fine.
Mine really didn't, because I was able to take those home with me and be able to implement some of those things. And I just had a great team. I'm always and always have been very fortunate. My husband's in the business with me, Gary. My dad still comes in almost daily. So I left my center in capable hands. And if you don't have that support team, it could get tough. But I had an amazing support team behind me. And it was just great. And I enjoyed trying to make a difference, Jay. The whole time I was there, it was all about, and the good ones, and most of us, the board of everybody, USBC, BPAA, throughout the entire industry, I'm just trying to leave it a little better than I found it. Because if we can make it just a little better every day, every year, then it just trickles down and it's good for all of us.
What a message to send to people. Speaking of your husband,
yes,
I said I would eat dinner off of his turret. Now you can show everybody why, because this guy is amazing.
Yeah. So both Gary and I are actually introverts. Not everybody realizes that, because we make ourselves do things and do extrovert things, but he has found a real knack back here. He is an amazing mechanic. He's a civil engineer by trade or by schooling, but we've kept 7 people employed through all this.
Nice.
We're really trying this. I really took this very emotionally, and not for me. I'm going to be okay for 2 or 3 months, but I have 22 people who depend on me. And so we have come up with things. So Gary sent two of our guys all the way through our machines and had them originally just clean. And I'm probably not doing justice showing you everything, but these machines have been super, super clean. And then Gary has pulled apart every single turret. I might be even too close, and completely rebuilt them and cleaned them. And they're absolutely amazing. We already didn't have a whole lot of stops, but we found a few things broken in there that you just don't see with the naked eye when you tear everything apart.
Sure.
So he's down to, I think, looks like about lane 9 or 10 down there. He's not here right now. He's already gone today, but so yeah, they're looking great. We're cleaning every single gutter. We're cleaning every single piece of the machine that we can get our hands on. I'm trying to get back there so you can see it. I mean,
it looks
everything.
great.
Yeah, everything. So like I said earlier, we're using this time to do things we can't. You can't clean machines like this when they run. And we're lucky and very fortunate.
And especially because you're a high volume center, so they're always going up and down. Right.
Yeah, we really are.
Show us another thing that you installed. You guys put in these giant video screens, and they look amazing from the front desk. Good for you. You know, that's not, you had said you had previously ordered these before the pandemic had hit and you had planned to put them in, but now you have a reason to and time to do it and thought behind it. So tell us about those.
Yeah, so we put in, I probably should have pulled the trigger a few years ago. I keep in the wrong thing, sorry. I'm on my phone, as you can tell. So
I do the same thing when I go live on my phone. It's terrible.
Yeah, so there, we can see it now a little bit. We have purchased these back in the end of January, February. So we're already down that track before all of this happened. But it gave us the opportunity to get everything installed and to do it without having, to work through the glitches versus piecemealing it. Oh, I got to have lanes 5 and 6 back, at 5 o'clock, etc.
Right.
So yes, so we only have one channel right now because we canceled cable to save a little money during this whole thing. But we kept up Bowling Music Network. They're a great partner for the industry, and they've been great letting people cancel throughout this whole time. But we've kept them up so we could use them for testing. And with us having 7 people here, we're listening to music daily. So
yeah, and music is good for the soul. We definitely know that.
It is. And Jay, I know a lot of people have already put in big screens. Again, I'm a really traditional center, extremely heavy league play. But it was time what happened is New Year's Eve this year, we have run 3 parties New Year's Eve, and our first party was not sold out. So Gary actually picked up a bowling ball and took one of the open lanes, and he was bowling, and I just happened to sit there just for a minute because we were waiting for the next party to start, which was sold out, that we had to, quickly change over for.
Right.
And I said, this is kind of boring, like I tried to look at it from a different thing.
From a customer's eyes.
Yeah. So we put these in. We put in 7 more TV screens. They're on in between the monitors. Really just trying to create an atmosphere of a lot more fun, which I think is going to be important. Also for my league bowlers, if I can keep them around for an extra beer after they're done, if we're watching a big game and it's in the 4th quarter, maybe they'll buy an extra beer.
Absolutely.
So
you're giving them a reason to stay versus going to another location that is offering them the same thing. Well, I don't need to get in my car and drive to Buffalo Wild Wings. I can watch the games here. I can get good food here. And I'm also supporting a local person who's been here since 1950. So thank you. That's beautiful.
Yeah, so it was much needed, but the staff's super excited about it. And even our league bowlers, even some of the, you never know with league bowlers, some of them are big traditionalists and are like, you're not putting that down while we bowl, right? And then others are like, bring it on. So we're excited about it, and we think it'll be a great new element when we finally get to reopen our doors. Yes.
So tell me, as we're getting ready to wrap this up here, tell me what are the things that maybe 1 or 2 projects that you wanted to do, but maybe you're not going to do just yet, but you got on the back burner for the future? Anything in the works there?
We are going to, with the new TVs, we are going to upgrade our sound as well. So that is something we're going to do. And I'll take you on another quick trip real quick.
Okay.
This was Antonio's idea. As we go by Antonio, we'll give him credit for it. Wave, Antonio. Say hi. Antonio has grown up here. His mom worked for me. Yeah, his mom worked for me when he was a little boy, and now he's part of our team as well and has been for a while. So I'm pulling you in. not clean. So bear with us, folks. But
No, I remember seeing the lockers on Facebook, and you didn't paint one person's locker or something about that. That was an inside
we did
joke.
paint our lockers. That's automotive. Yes, that was Greg Kane. So we were having a little fun with him on that. So he figured out it was his, and we've changed it out. We got that paint at the Advanced Auto Store. They look like brand new.
They do look amazing. They're like metallic silver. They're gorgeous.
But one of the projects that we are going to work on is this wall right here.
You're breaking up a little bit. Maybe the signal's weaker in this part of the center. Oh, I hope we get you back. There we go.
Yeah. Okay.
And there we are.
We're back.
Maybe just go out to the door and zoom in, because this part of the center has not got good reception.
Can you hear me? Okay. Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yes, much better.
Yeah, so one of the things, being a small center, you've been on the whole tour on this, I've got no extra space. I don't have game room space. I don't have, again, it's just, and a lot of people are in my boat. It would be nice if I, could build a whole brand new one, I would, but we have a successful business that we're not going to. So we're going to add 3 TVs in here on this blank wall back there. I'm not going to go back in there so I don't leave it. They'll be hooked up for TV as well, but we're also going to hook them up for gaming systems.
Ooh,
so
now there's a good idea.
Little tournaments, it's in the bar. If not, Antonio was like, Nancy, I got you. I'll sell extra beer every night, because after the league, I'll get someone to come bowl a game with me, on the Wii or the PS or whatever he likes. The Xbox, all the above, and get the crowd in there.
With the Wii.
Fun, bowlers happen to be a little bit of bettors, but take a space that for right now is not doing anything for us, and try to add as many elements as we can within our 4 walls. So that project hasn't started yet, but it's come out of this on something we'd like to do.
Wow. Well, Nancy, what a beautiful center you have. I really appreciate you taking the time today to show us around and give us such a beautiful, we haven't had this kind of a look at a center yet, and that you've started a trend, my dear. I just promise you that. I want to say thank you for being here today. First of all, thank you for doing it with me. I'm proud of you and what you've done with your center. I'm so happy that you've taken these experiences that you've gotten in your life and maximize them for not only you, but your family, your customers, and your community. That is so beautiful. Thank you. I do want to say hello to everyone who's been watching, because I've been trying to watch, but I can't take my eyes off of over here, and the comments are over there. Ted Wells says hi. Jerry Kessler says hi. Chrissy Kent says hi. A lot of people are saying hi. Ted says, suggestion, when you have open bowlers bring their balls and shoes to the counter when they're done so you can clean them, advertise this in the overheads. Good idea, Ted. We'll look into that. We're going to talk, speaking of that, tomorrow we have our webinar on reopening, and we've got some industry experts joining us for that webinar. I'm going to tell you who they are. We've got Craig Buster is going to be on with us, and he's got Wild Islands Coconut Bowl. Kyle Allison from this is great. He's Andy's Alligator Fun Park and Water Park. It's a family entertainment center in Oklahoma. Of course, I asked him if he knew Joe Exotic, and he said no, which I was bummed about. But we also have Monty Pyburn coming on, and Monty's oversees the Whirly Balls in the Chicagoland area. And we have a 4th guest from RPM Raceway that's going to be there. And we're just going to have a little discussion about what they're planning to do to reopen, how they're going to address certain things. If you want to join that webinar, I'm going to post the link in the comments. It's not there yet. So after I end the video, I'll post the link for registration in the comments, or you can just head to cubic-amf.com and register for that webinar. Also, I'll be back on Thursday with another fabulous guest. I hope it'll be as fabulous as you, Nancy. I just don't know if it will be yet.
I'm sure it will be. But I appreciate it. You're making a girl's ego good, Jay. I appreciate it.
You don't need no help with that, baby. You are good. On behalf of Cubic AMF, Jay Nephew, and Nancy Schenk, we thank you for joining us for this edition of Beyond the Frame. We'll see you again soon. And until then, what do you have to do, Nancy? You have to stay what? In the right frame of mind. So we're going to help you do that. Okay, guys, have a wonderful evening, and we will see you all soon.
Take care. Thanks so much, Jay.
Bye-bye.